Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you're doing great. Matt Corvo coming at you live from Montreal, Canada. A little bit of my backstory: been trading for almost 5 years now. My first year, I was introduced to Forex and the world of CFDs, contract for difference. Basically, MetaTrader 4 and 5, traded Forex for about 3 years and just started with the basic indicators, EMA crossovers, RSI divergence, just bullshit. And then I would say year two, I found Smart Money Concepts on YouTube and Inner Circle Trader, ICT. And I would say I wasted probably 2 years of my trading journey with that. And at the beginning of 2025, I found order flow. And I made the transition from CFDs, contract for difference, to futures contracts, which is a regulated and centralized market, which is a much more professional arena. CFDs basically are laughed at by trading professionals. And I've been learning about order flow for a year, and today I just wanted to do a screen recording of my journaling, correct? I would just like to journal by recording my screen. And I would say, 8, 9 months into this journey of learning about order flow. I'm having, for the first time, I would say, hope in my trading. And it's starting to make sense. I'm starting to put all of the pieces of the puzzle together. And yeah, basically today that's what I wanted to do. We are Wednesday, October 29th, 2025. And yeah, basically, I'm a struggling trader, but order flow is helping me a lot to understand how the market moves, the market dynamics. And I look at the volume profiles, footprint, VWAP deviations, and a heat map. I don't look at the DOM nor at the time in cells. Maybe I could look a little bit at the CVD today, the cumulative volume delta. And I really also want to add into my trading the big trades indicator. Yes. So perfect, guys. Let's get into it. And yes, I just trade the S&P 500 on the futures market. I trade the micros. Great. So today was a really shitty day on the markets. It was super messy. Okay. I want to break down some trades that I missed today because I got too late on the chart. And here I had a loss. This was the only trade I took. And then probably some missed trades. The markets have been very choppy recently because, from what I understand, the big market players, the big hedge funds, the big institutions, they are waiting on the sideline. As of today, they were waiting on the sideline waiting for the FOMC, Federal Open Market Committee press conference, for them to release some news about what they're going to do with the US dollar, with the central bank, either rise or lower the interest rates. So yes, let's get into it for today. So first of all, I would just like to open up my TradeZilla, which is my journaling software so not only do I record my screen like this, but I also just journal normally, with a normal software. So as you can see, I am not a profitable trader, but I wouldn't say I'm a losing trader. I'm really a break-even trader. Lots of break-even days. My losses are quite small. My wins are okay. I'm a break-even trader. And this is a lot of testing here. I really haven't found a big edge. I'm trying to put all the pieces of the puzzle. I have different playbooks. Playbooks here. I have 5 different playbooks. Some of them have a certain amount of trades. Okay, guys. So perfect. Let's get into it. Notebook. Let me click on notebook. And here. So basically, every day before starting my trading session, the thing I do is I have a template here on TradeZilla, and I copy paste it, and it's basically my pre-market game plan. So I take 30 minutes to identify the market condition, identify my directional bias, looking at different time frames, and also identifying the key levels I'm going to play from. Okay, when price reaches a certain level, I'm going to look to play shorts, or I'm going to look to play longs. Great. And I also look if we're going to have economic high impact news events. So, starting on the daily, we obviously look super bullish. However, we had this gap here. So, I always wanted to keep that on my mind. We are bullish, but there's a gap here which price always, kind of always fills up. Now, looking on the 4 hour, I don't really see the point of looking at both the daily and the 4 hour if they're pretty much looking similar. However, on the daily, I can just mark up my previous daily highs and lows. But just looking at the 4 hour, same story, bullish, but we have a gap here. Keep that on my mind. Keep that in mind. And now on the 15 minutes, I said we have multi-time frame alignment. However, it's quite hard to say when we're going to have our pullback, because after a break of structure to the upside, what you are expecting is a pullback, a retracement. Okay, but here we're just continuing up and up and up and up. And it's a little bit tricky because let me just do some drawings here. You know, price comes here. Frankly, there's no. Well, what is this? There's no way to tell, is it going to reverse here? Is it going to go higher in reverse? Is it going to reverse here? Because especially that now we are at all-time highs, ATH. Like there are no levels here. There are no levels to tell us when is price going to reverse, correct? So it's very, very tricky. Just gonna remove that drawing right now. Perfect. So all-time highs, we don't know if it's going to reverse right now or if it's going to reverse much, much, much later. So that's why I don't really like market structure. I do find it very subjective, and as a scalper, day trader, I don't want to say it's super useful. You can look super bullish, like I said today. We're looking bullish on the daily, the H4 and the M15, and price just completely reversed in my face. Okay? Now, looking at the volume profiles, again, very bullish. Let me tell you why. Because this is my previous day volume profile from yesterday, dragging it from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. of the previous day, and then the overnight one, I drag it from 4 p.m. obviously until 9:30 a.m. of this morning. Okay? So, if you're looking at it where price is, I'm always asking myself, where are we? Where is price? Is price looking at volume profile levels, you can have an idea if price is bullish or bearish. And I'm always asking myself, okay, where is price compared to our levels? So price clearly maintaining itself above previous day value area high. And if you look here, this is the value area high of my overnight volume profile. Price is really maintaining itself above, boom, boom. But then it came here, I guess, to take that liquidity, that swing low, came back and maintaining itself above, and again went to take, I would say, those two lows here, and comes back again. And here, if you would zoom, it's really holding above. But now you could say price took those two highs, so it could give a reversal. But yeah, just price is pretty far away from the POC, the red line here. So very bullish indication. Okay, and now after my 30-minute was done, identifying all my levels, I just start taking screenshots of what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking, and what's on my mind by looking at the price action. And I took this trade here, and I remember taking notes saying price is holding above the value area high, this line here, and VWAP. VWAP. Okay, so I just would like to break down this trade here that I took. So I got on the so I got on the charts very late. I'm missing out on a couple of nice trades, I would say, and that is really my fault. Okay, so this cannot that is absolutely unacceptable. I need to be up at 7, be on the charts at 8, and I'm on the charts at 10. It's unacceptable. And yeah, I got to do my 30-minute game plan. So let's have a look here. What time was it when I entered? You can see it was 10:28, and I would just like to break down that trade. No, guys, I'm completely mistaken. I'm completely mistaken. I was here. Okay, the trade was here. The trade was here. Okay. What time was it? 10:13. So what I'm going to do now is get my footprint chart on Quant Tower with AMP, my broker. And we're going to go on the 5 minutes. And we're going to go at 10:12. The VWAP, I know, the VWAP deviations are making it look crazy. 10:12. Let's zoom in a little bit. So why did I get on this trade? I identified an imbalance here on the 5 minute at the 39 level, and price already gave a nice reaction from it. This was a missed buy in my opinion that was lining up with the VWAP. And then when price came here, I was like, okay, I'm really looking for a buy because it already gave a buy here. That's what I did. So when price came here, what I do when it's on the 5 minutes, when price reaches an imbalance on the 5 minutes, I hone in on the 30 seconds or 1 minute, doesn't really matter. And just, okay, now I need to go to 10:12. Oops. Okay. Okay. So there are many things I liked about that candle from a footprint perspective. Many things. Let me tell you three things right now off the bat. Number one, trap sellers at the bottom. Love that. Okay, even left an imbalance. Trap sellers. Love it. A lot of zeros at the bottom and then a long wick to the downside indicating buy pressure. All the aggressive sellers getting absorbed by the passive buyers. So basically, sell market executions getting absorbed by buy limit orders. Okay, and then the candle closed above if it's 50%. So even though the color is red, it's a positive candle. However, I like to enter with a positive delta when the candle has a positive delta. Okay? So waiting for the next candle, and when I realized all of this, I was somehow busy writing all my notes on Tradezilla, and I got in here at 43.25. And then, like I say, when price reaches an area or a zone or a level of support or demand, sometimes it does give a super clean reversal, but a lot of time it reaches it. This is where I get in because this is where I have my second candle on the footprint with a positive delta. I wait for at least two, but then what it likes to do, boom, retracement, retracement, retracement. And this whole area of consolidation before price really goes into the other direction, it can range from 1 minute, 5 minutes, and you're going to see a crazy example. It can be up to 30 minutes, an hour for your reversal to take place. It's not always like this. Not always. So let me delete that drawing here. Okay, so I think I got in here and then I got stuck. I got stuck and price was not going far enough for me to go to a break even. And it's just impossible to read the footprints when you are in a consolidation because no candle has a follow through after. And it's very difficult to say, okay, the aggressive sellers are getting absorbed by the passive buyers, or the passive buyers are getting all of their orders filled by the aggressive sellers. It's very hard to tell when it's so messy. So maybe what you can do is jump up a time frame on the prints to see what's going on, and maybe your stop loss you can make it smaller. Put my stop loss under, and was literally in a drawdown from 10:13 to 10:43. So that really sucked. So that was a loss, just $46. Because I'm still testing, I'm putting super small size. But even if I were to increase it, it would fuck up all my statistics and all my data. So it's quite. I'm in this period which is not really nice right now, where I'm testing, trying. I'm really in stage one and two of traders from the stage, this five stages from Umar Ashraf. If you want to look that up. Okay, and let's have a look here. So price came here. This was the other level I was watching, okay? Here we had a swing low, plus on the heat map, on book map, we had 210 buy limit orders sitting on the bid at 69.35, as you can see on the right. And then what I didn't like is that price went through it, but like too deep in it. Really didn't like it. And then in just 1 minute, it gave like a super big reversal, and I was really afraid it would do the same thing as here. You got one impulse, but then after it doesn't like start shooting, it starts consolidating. Okay. So here I didn't enter. I just didn't like it. It went too deep. Let's just have a look here at 1051. Yeah, here we are, 1051. Okay, super negative candle. Numbers are very looking very similar, so you're expecting a big follow through. Not getting it. Okay, not getting it. The max and the final delta are looking very similar. I'm sorry because of the watermark here on parallel. I know it's a mess. It's either I endure that fucking watermark that says activate Windows, or I buy a product key and that's gonna cost hundreds of dollars, so I don't want to. And then if you look at this candle, yeah, but no trap sellers under, no, just 1 0. It's nothing really particular. And then it took off, and I was like, oh man, I'm not expecting this to really take off like a rocket. And then boom, it starts consolidating, and I kid you not, it consolidated from 1050 to literally until that trade was taken out. Okay, let's say I entered and that was my stop loss. It would have been huge, first of all, but it would have been literally an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes of pure consolidation, and that was really my range. That would have been like my entry. Maybe you could have entered here and closed it, but anyway, I would have held the trade at least until here. So remember, we're super bullish. We are super bullish from looking at our HTF, higher time frames, and boom, price completely reverses. We are basically looking for buys, and price completely reverses in our face. Okay. Now I would like to analyze this point of reversal here. This was a missed trade. And I would just like to do the analysis with you on the prints. It was 1125. It reached this VWAP. But I would have to say, when it only reaches VWAP and that's the only reason why you want to sell, and you look on the print for a reason to sell, it's usually low probability. It did work in this case, but It's usually not the you want other confluences, other confirmations, not just VWAP, correct? So super positive candle, and you're looking for reasons to sell. So aggressive buy orders getting absorbed by sell passive sell orders. So in other words, buy market executions getting absorbed by sell limit orders. Okay. So first clue, super positive candle reaching VWAP, boom, zero follow through. So you're expecting again another candle to sell. You have it, but it has a positive delta. So this candle here is very, very interesting. It's a weird candle. Big wick to the upside, zeros on at the top, close below the 50% red candle. But why are the numbers positive? So this is tricky, okay? And then you want to see follow through either. And then it goes even lower with positive numbers. So it's telling you something. It's telling you now that really the aggressive buyers are getting absorbed by the passive sellers. And then boom here, you do see the volume decreasing a little bit. And then you could have entered here when that imbalance was formed. But sometimes, even when you enter, when an imbalance is being formed, the candle right after will take it out. So it's tricky. It's tricky. So my entry would have been what at 40.50? Yeah, exactly 40.50. And what could you have targeted? This level here of 200 buy limit orders on the bid at 69.31. That would have been a nice, or either this, this low. Target this low or this level, and boom, this is exactly what got taken out. And let's have a look here. I like that level because it was a swing low, big swing low, a major swing low. And there you also had 200 buy limit orders on the bid. So I should mark it red. I should mark it green. What do you think? Huh? Should mark it green. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I should mark it green. Perfect, perfect. Let's make it the same color here because I'm a perfectionist. Alrighty, alrighty. Let's get going. So there you go. Let's have a look here at 1206 on the prints at what happened on the deltas, what happened on the footprints. Let's study that. So those imbalances, I noticed they a lot of times line up with liquidity levels on bookmap, okay? So this was tricky. It's never easy. It's never fucking simple. It's always somehow. One thing is fucking theory on a YouTube video explaining, oh, those are the entry criterias. That's all for the newbies. But for people with more experience like me, you're going to see trading the markets, and that is why doing my journaling, recording my screen, and talking over it is so important, is because one thing is fucking theory on a YouTube video, and another thing are the fucking markets. And that's ES. This is not US 30 dirty 30. This is not NASDAQ moving like crazy. This is just ES, okay? And I'm trading micro ES, MES. And it's just it's just crazy. It's just not simple. It's not like one candle and boom, you have a reversal. That'd be too easy. It's always somehow complicated, complex. It's always it fucks around a little bit. There's like some sort of a consolidation. It takes a little bit of time. There's a lot of noise. Maybe because I'm on the 30 seconds and I should move up on the 1 minute. But that's why I want to study it. And obviously, my trading has hope. There's hope. There's improvement. There's been a major improvement since I made the transition to futures and started learning about order flow. That is undeniable. But here I am in my learning journey, and it's still not super, super duper easy. You know, what does it require? Skill, experience, knowledge, expertise, you name it. Screen time. So this is exactly what I'm doing right now. And hopefully you guys get some value from it and some insight. Okay, so super negative candle, you want to see a follow through. You're getting none of it. It goes, the minimum delta goes from minus 285 to 5. Okay, and then again, this is what I'm talking about. Fucking complicated candle here. You want just really buyers to show up, and you got 326, and but then it ends up at minus 436. Super complicated. Maybe because it's trying to fill up that imbalance here. And now you really want the buyers to show up because you're looking for a reversal for long. And then you got this candle here. Definitely the sellers having less and less influence, less impact, but still. Now you have this candle, okay? Looking interesting. Okay, the buyers maybe are really taking off, but just this big wick. Maybe it's because it's filling up that imbalance. It's just this big wick here to the upside. I don't like it. No trap sellers, no zeros. Maybe here, but maybe those were your trap sellers. So maybe looking on the 1 minute would have been better. And then let's look here. Okay, I like this candle. But no trap sellers. There's a zero here. Big wick to the downside exactly. So so sometimes like I'm looking for criterias on just one candle, but I'm seeing it over like three candles, and that's where you use a little bit of discretion, of course. It's no hard fixed rule criterias. It's not that simple. So maybe you could have gotten in here or here. So where were we? Just want to be sure what level it was. Let's say 69.32, okay? But even then, what do you target? So this is what I saw on Bookmap. Those crazy orders appeared on Bookmap. Literally, I don't know if you can see it, but 1,200 over two levels sell limit orders sitting on the ask, okay? Because the passive sells sit on the ask, waiting to be hit, waiting to be filled. And that's why even looking at a heat map, you need time and experience and knowledge about it because even then it's a little bit complicated. There are three things that can happen. Number one, it reaches it and completely breaks through. Number two, it reaches it, your order gets absorbed, it consolidates, it gives a little bit of a pullback, and then it reverses. Or even there's spoofing going on. Those orders were there to somehow scare price, scare the buyers. It just gets spoofed, it completely disappears off the COB, the current order book. But it's a little bit complicated. Sometimes those levels they do act as a magnet. I would say they act as a magnet, but sometimes they push price away. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't have enough experience with it. Anyway, price reaches it perfectly. I would have targeted this high for a reversal, but this is another dilemma with trading. Sometimes you close your trade, you're super happy about it, and it goes up. It goes it flies, continues flying. You're like, man, I should have held. I should have really dragged my stop loss, put it here, and keep holding my profits. But here you would have been way better off. Maybe what you could have done is just you keep dragging your stop loss all the way here, and you put your TP here, and you get taken out. Correct. But later I'm going to talk about that trade, how those two trades I missed, and you're going to see. But and what I said at 2:30, you had the press conference from the Federal Open Market Committee discussing the interest rates, and boom, just volatility kicked in again. I don't know if I can put in the ATR indicator here. Where is it? ATR. You see how the volatility kicked in. And look at this. You have volatility starting from 9:30. Yeah, just very little volatility. And then I would say at 12 it completely dies, and now because of the news it just took off like crazy. Took off. Now, is there any way I can delete this? Okie doo. So was that a mistrade? Maybe. Let's put it here. Mm-mm. So mistrade, mistrade, stop loss. Now let's have a look here at 958. At 958, I believe this was a nice trade that I missed. So basically, I like to mark levels, London high, swing high, and then VWAP. So when it comes to VWAP deviations, let's say price is falling like crazy, and well, you got your outmost deviation here, the green one. If it's selling like crazy, it's a bad idea to buy from it, okay? You can really get cut. You're trying to catch a falling knife. But when price is slowly, in this case, going up, slowly going up, no big crazy volatility, you can look for a sell, especially if it lines up with other levels. You can look for a sell, okay? Obviously, confirming on the prints. You jump on the prints to confirm buyers getting absorbed, aggressive buyers getting absorbed passive sellers. So at what time did we say here? 9. Hey, let me zoom in because it looks like a mess here. 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., 10 a.m. Come on, let's go. So this is an example of maybe a simpler reversal, okay? So what do we see here? Super aggressive buying candle, I like it. Now what you want to see is no follow through. Boom, this candle has no follow through. And then, but the sellers somehow they're not going anywhere. They're not really able to push price strongly. And then what do you see? Okay, the buyers are still present, taking the price from minus 187 to 91. Okay, still not sure. Still not sure, but one thing for sure, the buyers they took a hit. Now you look here, this candle went from minus 47 to 19. Not super good. What you want to have are trap buyers here. You want to have trap buyers here in price. You want it to drop. And you have zeros. But you don't really have that. The buyers are going to appear on the ask column, on the right column. Now you have this one, okay, starting to look good for our reversal. Boom, you want to see a follow through. And what do I say? It's always somehow fucking complicated. Boom, you got this fucking candle here. But yeah, that's why I say I should jump really on the 1 minute. There's too much noise. I don't like this candle. It's scary. It's very scary. Maybe it's the buyers one last push to close all their orders before the sell. And now boom, you want to see a follow through. This is really consolidation when you have a red and a green and a red and a green candle. None of them have a follow through after. No follow through, no fall. I mean, no follow through, no follow through, no follow through, no follow through. Now, okay, finally, okay, our seller's gonna appear. Boom, start selling, and then boom here. Maybe you could have gotten in. I don't know where exactly. Maybe here. Okay, you get in here at 49.25. Let's put it. But this would have been a beautiful, beautiful trade. But it would have been a long one. So it's scalping in the way that you enter on the seconds time frame, but your trades can be really long. So this would have been a 6 to 1. Where do you put your stop loss? You put it there. Okay. And what do you target? You target this low. Okay. But still, you're expecting for this to buy, so you're not holding it like crazy. You, but this would have been you're expecting this. This trade would have taken from 10 o'clock to it would have been 50 minutes, and this whole area would have been super annoying, super duper annoying. You keep it at break even, but maybe you move it a little bit in profit. Could have been taken out because remember my bias was bullish. But here's the thing. This trade was really the high of the day. Look how low it went. This trade could have been a 20R plus, targeting the previous daily low. But again, look at my bias. Why would you sell at all-time highs? That's why I'm saying it's complicated. Okay. Now, one last thing. This trade would have been a massive runner. Massive. So this is the last trade I want to break down here. Okay. So there was this imbalance on the 5 minute. If you look here on the 5 minute, there was this imbalance here created at 8:45, and price gave a bounce from it, and this could have been a nice trade here. So you're on the 5 minute, price reaches it, you hone in on the 1 minute, and it also lines up with VWAP, which is interesting. You know, VWAP sometimes it does give buys, but I don't like to look at buys only from VWAP. Sometimes it works, a lot of time it doesn't. Doesn't work, doesn't work. People are gonna do YouTube videos looking at cherry picking two examples. Yeah, look, you can make money from VWAP. Boom, boom. Here, what do you say, huh? Here, what do you say here, right? Let's go, let's go. So you hone in on the 1 minute. Let's have a look at what time it was. 9:30. Right, fucking. That's the thing, man. Cash open is crazy. Cash open is a mess. You don't always want to take trades there. Cash open. You don't always want to do it. Let me tell you that. 9:30. Oh man, me especially me, I don't like it. I think any experienced trader, they're gonna say, man, the 10 first minutes of cash open are crazy. Now everybody has discretion, blah blah blah. Okay, super negative candles, but this is just for the sake of studying. Super negative candles, boom, candle is interesting here. Candle is interesting. Divergence candle. Super negative candle, boom, zero follow through. You have positive deltas. You want to see like really a follow through of those positive numbers, and boom, you really get it. No trap sellers at the bottom, however, no, you have zeros, yes, exactly. So could have entered, I would say here maybe, but me, I like to have two candles. So where did I put my entry? At 38.75. Yeah, so it makes a lot of sense. 38.75. Price comes back here. And looking even at the volume, you see the brighter where it is. This is where there's the most volume. So it does somehow have a B shape. It does somehow have a B shape like this. Okay. It does a B shape like this. So that means a lot of volume stuck at the bottom, and this is a really bullish indication, and the opposite applies. If there's a lot of volume to the upside, a P shape, this is meaning maybe trapped buyers, they're stuck above, like here, and it might sell. So you really want to put everything together. Anyway, it takes off. What could you have targeted? Whoops. Let me select this one. Target this high, or even London's high. This would have been a nice trade, right? But like I say, I think those, I don't know if those orders appeared bef after or before. And this trade, there was a trade here from the imbalance. It gave a sell, it gave a nice buy, but it eventually failed. I would have targeted this high. I'm talking about this one here at 843. 843. Let me just break it down really quickly. 843, where are we? 843. Okay, so this is the 5 minute, like I say. 843, nice and balanced. Whoa, excuse me. 7 in the morning. Ooh, yeah, you see? 7 in the morning, super nice. Imbalance, see it here, and then you're looking for price to reach it. Boom, it reaches it. You hone in on the 1 minute. You have VWAP that might hold it. So you look, you look, you look. 8:30. And what do I say? It's always somehow a fucking mess. It's always somehow a fucking mess. It's never clean. Forget about it. Negative, 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 no follow through. Boom. Finally you're sighing, so I'm waiting for a second candle. Not happening. And then fucks around again. Now this candle is interesting. Super negative, but then trap sellers here, I like it. Zero here. Big wick to the downside. Closed above the 50%. Okay, looking for buyers to show up on the deltas now. Not happening, but you see a clear decrease of selling activity. It goes from literally those big numbers to very small numbers. Okay, I really want, and it plus it appears green. Okay, I really want buyers to show up. Meh, not getting it, not getting it. It's just again those three, they fucked up everything. Okay, maybe it's gonna happen, and boom, and boom. Could have gotten in seeing this imbalance that which got filled right after. So 39.75, 39.70, 39.75. What do you target, my boy? Target this high at least. And what happened, like I said, fucking cash open ruined everything. Just 2 minutes ruined everything. So obviously, coming in so close, you would have put it to break even, but still that would have been a BE. All right, guys. So that's pretty much everything. Hopefully, in 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, I'm gonna look back over this video and see where I started from. I don't want to say started because I've been 2 months and a half now in this journey, learning about footprint specifically, looking and studying at footprint every single day. But order flow in general, volume profile, that's been over uh, 8 months, I would say. I really started in January, but then I got distracted during the year, maybe 2 or 3 months. But I've never been more serious, especially with journaling, footprint. I now want to incorporate the CVD. Man, I wanted to talk about the CVD today. And I want to incorporate a big trades indicator into my chart. But yeah, honestly, if it were easy, simple reversals all the time with clear criteria on footprint, it'd be easy. Everybody would be millionaires. But I'm not complaining at the fact it's hard. I think the harder it is, the better the reward. But I will say just more time, more screen time, more experience, more knowledge, more expertise. That's gonna fix it. But it's you don't. Here I am complaining after 2 months of studying this. Oh, it's fucking hard. But when you've seen it like 100 times or 200 times or 300 times, your eyes get used to it, and somehow you get better at it. But it's just experience. I think the market is the best teacher, like Umar Ashraf says. Not fucking YouTube videos. It's good for theory, but there's a lot of bullshit. All right, guys. So this was Wednesday, October 29th, 2025. Month is almost over. Had a shitty month, like I said. Break even trader. One day I'm going to look back on this video and I'm literally going to have months like Umar Ashraf. Look at that. Like Carmine Rosado. Those are going to be my stats one fucking day. Those are going to be my fucking stats. 100 going to be my stats. And there's so many ways you can. There's so many ways to trade order flow. Like, I don't even know what that fucking. That's from Lambo Royal. I don't know what that indicator is. This is on one side the volume, so you clearly see the B shape or the D shape, volume tails, and then delta on one side. Much smarter. Me, it's because I have an imbalanced one. And then here, as you can see, his volume profile, but he has a volume profile being dragged. I don't even know from what time to what time. But then this is a delta profile. Okay, guys, that's gonna be enough for today. All right, cheers.